In Genesis 22:18, God told Abraham, "In thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed." The word seed, when applied to people of the Bible, has reference to a person's children or their future descendants. For instance, this is why that Eve used this word when she bore Seth, who replaced her murdered son Abel. Eve said that God had appointed her another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew, Genesis 4:25. When God was giving promises to Abraham, that faithful man, he foretold several blessings and difficulties for his seed or his descendants. On one occasion he told Abraham, "Thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years, Genesis 15:13. This later came to pass as foretold when the descendants of Abraham, the Israelites, went down into Egypt and became the slaves of the Egyptians until the time of Moses. A blessing which God promised Abraham at the same time was that his seed or his children would inherit the promised land of Canaan and the surrounding territories. He said to Abraham, "Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates," Genesis 15:18. And the rest of the Old Testament history shows the Israelites being led to this promised land, inheriting it and enjoying the promises that they received. But the greatest promise that God gave through Abraham was that he was going to bless all nations through him or through his seed. In the New Testament, the Apostle Paul explains this prophecy to us in Galatians 3:16, where he says, "Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not, and to seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is Christ." Paul pointed out that the singular term seed, instead of the plural form seeds, is what is mentioned here, showing that God was promising to bless all nations through only one person, through only one of Abraham's descendants. Then Paul explains that the seed or the descendant was Jesus Christ. Therefore God was promising to send Jesus into the world as a descendant of Abraham, and so in this way bless all men through his seed. Jesus was a Jew. He was a direct descendant of Abraham. The writer of Hebrews said, "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham," Hebrews 2:16. Jesus didn't come into the world as a spiritual body like the angels, but he came into this world as flesh, in the form of an Israelite baby, the seed of Abraham. In the books of Matthew and in Luke, we see his fleshly lineage being traced back to that great man of faith. But God foretold that all nations would be blessed as a result of this seed, and Jesus is certainly the fulfillment of that promise in every respect. Christ has blessed people of every nation down through the centuries. He paid for their sins on the cross, suffering a terrible death, that he, by the grace of God, should taste death for every man, Hebrews 2:9. And his wonderful message of forgiveness from God has blessed multitudes of people in every age of time. And the gospel promises the glorious hope of a resurrection from the grave for all people. And this blessing is the greatest that is known to man. Christ overcame death for us by conquering the grave and becoming the one who will raise us from the dead. He opened up the gates to heaven by becoming our forerunner into that beautiful place. He went there to prepare a place for each one of us, and he promises to come back and to take us there so that we can be where he is. And he says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can get into that place. No one can come to the kingdom but by me." Truly, in Abraham's seed, all nations of the earth are being blessed even to this very day. But finally, if we walk by faith as Abraham did, we also become the seed of Abraham in Christ Jesus. We become part of a spiritual race of faith. the descendants of Abraham through faith in Christ Jesus. Galatians 3 and verse 29 says, "And if you be Christ's, then are ye Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise." Friends, we thank you for joining us for our program today, and may God bless you with a wonderful day.